9.6.2 is on writing equations in slope-intercept form. Remember to write things in slope-intercept form, that is y equals mx plus b. Again, m is your slope and b is our y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis or vertical axis. First things first, I want to go ahead and start out with a couple examples here. Notice in example 1 here in the red print there that this has a positive slope. Okay, the line is increasing. Note what the line looks like when it increases. We're going to go ahead and figure out m, our slope here. So I'm going to go ahead and start from this point. I'm going to move over 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So when I move over 4, remember it's from where you last left off, so we're going to travel up. And when we travel up, we'd find out that we actually went up 9 units. So my slope here is rise over run, 9/4. My intercept is where it crosses the axis here, and that is right at 0. So the equation of this line in slope-intercept form is y equals, your slope is 9/4 next to x, and then I don't need to put plus 0 for my intercept because I don't gain anything when you add 0. Example 2, notice that this line is negative. It is decreasing, so we have negative, the line is decreasing, so I should wind up with a negative slope. And again, I'll start with this point here and I'll travel up. When I travel up, that is positive, and that would be a positive 6. And then when I move to the left, that is negative, so I moved over negative 5. So again, my slope here is rise over run. It is a 6 over negative 5, which is the same as negative 6/5, because when you take a positive and divide by negative, you get a negative outcome. Your intercept, b value, well, it intercepts down here, and that's from your origin. So here's your origin. So I move down 1, 2, 3, 4. It intersects that y-axis at negative 4. My equation, y equals negative 6/5 x, because your slope is next to x, minus 4. The next two examples are pretty easy to write equations for. However, they are the most difficult to remember. Anytime you have a slope that is horizontal, so straight across, okay, remember slope is the steepness of line. Think of a ski slope. That has no slope. There's no pitch to that line. So the slope is 0. You do not have a slope. It is 0. However, it does have an intercept. Here's that origin. This intersects your y-axis at 2. So what this has, basically, if you think of it, is a y value. So the way you would write your equation is y equals 2. It crosses the y-axis at 2. Last slope is undefined. That is a vertical slope. That would be like you standing on top of the cliff there, looking over the edge and saying that's a long ways down. It is so steep that you cannot define the slope. So your slope is undefined for vertical lines. And that's what I'm going to say here is undefined. Now, this does not have a y-intercept. It does not cross your y-axis. However, it does cross your x, and it crosses your x here at negative 1. So our equation, and we don't have a b value, but we do have an equation. It crosses your x-axis, so x equals negative 1. Note the difference between those equations when a 0 slope versus a undefined slope. So what you'll have to do today is go ahead and put things into slope-intercept form. This first graph here is decreasing. So if it's decreasing, I better have a negative slope. So the first thing I'll do is go ahead and figure out my slope here. So I'm going to travel down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. When I travel down, that is negative 9. And then from where I last left off, I go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I travel to the right. That is positive. So my slope here is negative 9 over 5. My slope is negative 9/5. My intercept, my b value, well, it crosses my y-axis right there. So for my origin, here's 1, 2, 3. It crosses at 3, and that is positive. So there's my intercept. Putting things in slope-intercept form, remember y is by itself. Your slope is negative 9/5. Slope is next to x. And we have a positive 3 as our intercept. Example 2. This line is increasing, so we have a positive slope. Use the 2 points given. I'm going to start down here. I move over 1, 2, 3, 4 units. That is positive when I move to the right. And I move up 1, 2 units. So my slope here is rise over run, 2 over 4. This reduces to 1/2. Your intercept, your b value, well, this is where it crosses the y-axis, and it's down 1 spot from your origin, so negative 1. And my equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Home stretch here. The last 2 problems are a little bit more difficult. These are the easy ones right away, but these are the ones that are easy to forget. Now, if we look back at the front on the front page, what type of slope is this line? Well, this line is horizontal. A horizontal line, if you look at the front, has a 0 slope. This has no slope. However, it does have an intercept. It does cross my y-axis at that point. So from my origin here, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. That is a positive 4. It crosses the y-axis, so I'm going to say y equals 4. That is the equation of that line. Last example, we have a vertical line. As noted on the front, a vertical line has an undefined slope. Can't define it. It's so steep. This does not cross this y-axis here. So the y-axis is none. The axis it crosses is your x-axis. Here is my x-axis. From my origin, I went over 1, 2, 3. When I move to the left, that is negative 3. It crosses the x-axis, so x equals negative 3 would be the equation of that line. This will conclude 9-6.2 writing equations in slope-intercept form.